keep, tweak, or leap. Folks, I would say the same thing about each and every expense in your loss side.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Oh, the P&L. Gotta love the P&L, right? Profit loss statement, folks. When was the last time you took a look at your profit loss statement? Last week, we talked about the profit side, my favorite side. Today, we're going to talk about my not so favorite side, but very important, probably the most important side, and that is the L, or the loss side. First, I want to pause, remind you that we're sponsored by a great company, a company that I love to be a part of. I love Kyle and Brandon over there at Spark, spark4appraisers.com. Again, it's spark4appraisers.com. All right, folks, last week we talked about the profit side of the profit loss. First of all, let me reestablish, you didn't listen to last week. I highly recommend you go back and listen to it because, again, there's a reason it's called profit and loss. There's two parts to it. Okay? The profit side's pretty easy to determine as far as the numbers go. What really gets sticky is where do those numbers come from? Right? Where truly understanding what your profit is. And that only comes from breaking down your invoices and understanding why you got $20,000 in the bank last month. What caused that? What type of products are selling well? What type of products need some help? Okay. That's the P side. That's the profit side. Today, we're going to talk about the loss side. And by the way, just a reminder, episode number 475, if you want to go back and listen to episode 475, I highly recommend that you do so, because in 475, entitled How to Read a Profit and Loss Statement for an Appraisal Business, I break it down, folks. In 22 plus minutes, I break it down as to what my practice is every quarter, where I go through my P&L in detail and really come out with some answers. Folks, looking at your P&L is not just about an activity or an exercise just for exercise sake. There's a lot of things that you probably should do just because it's important to get in that routine. P&L is one of those, yes, but you've got to go beyond the exercise of a P&L and really dig into what is it saying to you, because the answer to that question will lead to more questions and more answers as far as what to do in your business to remain successful. One of the things I told you last week, and this is very true, is that a lot of businesses go under not because they are not successful ideas, not because they are not successful people running those businesses. In other words, let's take a carpentry business, right? It's not that that guy or gal is a bad carpenter. It's that she's not a great CEO, and she doesn't know how to run the business. She doesn't know how to run her numbers. I dare say that most individuals who fit into the whole E-Myth idea of I was a really good blank, fill in the blank, and then I decided to open up my own company. I was a really great accountant working for an accounting firm, and I decided to be my own work from home accountant, right? It's not that they all of a sudden became a bad accountant. It's that they didn't know how to run the CEO side or the business side. They didn't know how to put that hat on and truly be successful with that side of the business. So as we look at the P&L, P is very, very important. It's my favorite part because, you know, it's money, right? The loss side is super important in times like this because many of you have had it, let's be honest, pretty darn good over the last couple of years. We appraisers have not really had to do much to receive some really, really good success as real estate appraisers. And frankly, you could probably get away over the last couple of years without being a truly successful business owner in order to be successful in your business. Not so much anymore. Interest rates are high, volume is low, and as a consequence, it's now important to step back just a little bit and talk about the loss. I'm going to do that right after the break, but first I want to pause for you and tell you about a great company called Spark. Folks, if you've not checked it out, please do so. Now, I know many of you are like, well, Dustin, this is the worst time to take on one more thing, right? Like, I really want to pay for another software to do what? What's that going to do for me? Well, it's a great question, folks. And today we're going to be talking about loss. And part of that discussion is going to be, what can you afford? What is a true cost? And what is sucking the life out of your business versus what is actually improving your business and allowing you to be able to be more successful because you're saving time and because you're saving money. Spark will do both of those things for you. Check them out by going to spark4appraisers.com. Again, it's spark4appraisers.com. All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out one more time in the podcast chair. No, this is not my last time, but is one of my first times back on YouTube. So if you've not switched yet, highly recommend that you take a look at our YouTube channel. You can find us, the Appraiser Coach. If you like this video, please actually do it. I know everybody says that. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Folks, I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world to be able to get this information out there. And also, it's a benefit to you, right? To subscribe tells you you're never going to miss an episode. It's going to remind you when, you can click that little bell that reminds you anytime anything drops, which, by the way, is twice a week. Great information here, free information here. All you have to do is subscribe. Check us out. Go to theappraisercoach.com on YouTube. All right, folks, we're talking today about losses. Specifically, we're talking about the P&L. No, that was not an earthquake for those of you who are on the YouTube. I did bump my camera, but we're back. We're okay. Whew, that was scary. We talked last week about the profit side, right? The ability to understand not just how much money you made last month, but why. Which clients are your best clients? Which product is your best product, right? The old 80-20 rule comes into play here. That 20% of your effort gains 80% of the traction. So these are the types of things that you're looking at with a P&L. The P side is about profit, and it's about how can I maintain, nay, even increase my profit. Today, we're going to talk briefly about the loss side. And again, if you really want to get into details on this, by the way, I did a whole webinar on this as well. That's on my website. You can go to the products page at theappraisercoach.com and learn more about the P&L. We break it down into percentages. We break it down into numbers. We break it down to the actual practice that I go through, including screenshots on what I do every single quarter when I go through my P&L. But if you want a really quick version of that, I highly recommend you check out episode number 475, how to read a profit loss statement, right here on the podcast, how to read a profit loss statement for an appraisal business. Okay, let's finally dig into the topic today, which is loss, right? What is the loss side of the P&L? Well, it's very much what it sounds like. And it's difficult to do this, right? Have you ever gone through the process of maybe going through your closet and cleaning out your closet? This last weekend, I had a few hours and I went through my garage. And I will be honest with you, I'm not a pack rat. But it's hard when you're there and you're going through things and you look at things and go, gee, I could probably use that someday. Do I really want to throw it in the garbage? Now, I can tell you on Saturday, I was not in that mood. I was in the mood of let's clean this junk heap up and let's get rid of a lot of this stuff. So that's the kind of mood you need to be in when you go for the L side of the P&L, because you will find, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this next week as well, that your emotions sometimes get the better of you. And it's important, folks, when you're going through the loss side to say to yourself, do you really need that thing? Okay. And maybe it's a subscription. Maybe it's software. Maybe it's hardware. Maybe it's an ongoing thing that you're not really thinking about on a regular basis, but it just keeps popping up on your credit card, right? These are the types of things that you're going to look at when you look at the L side, the loss side of a P&L. Again, next week, we're going to talk about more about how that emotion plays into that. But folks, you've got to step back in times like this and ask yourself, are there things that I can do? One of the things that I do in our mastermind is we always do at the end of the mastermind. So we've been there a whole day. We've been together. Everybody shared their couch session. And at the end of the day, we go through what's called the accountability and goal setting session. The accountability side of that is to follow up on the goals that they set from last time. And with each of those goals, if they did not accomplish the goal, which, by the way, is rare, most everybody is there to be productive and there to be successful. And therefore, when they go home, they actually do their homework. But let's say they have a goal they come back with and they say, no, I did not get that one done. it's not too infrequent that I might say to them, okay, do you want to keep it, tweak it, or leap from it? Keep, tweak, or leap. Basically, that means, hey, do you want to keep it for the next quarter? Do you want to tweak it because, you know what, maybe that wasn't something you really were ready to accomplish, or maybe you have a different mindset now and you want to tweak it just a little bit? Or do you want to leap from it? Meaning, do you want to forget this one? Hey, that was last quarter. I'm not there anymore. I'm onto something else. Let's take it off the table. So keep, tweak, or leap. Folks, I would say the same thing about each and every expense in your loss side. Right? Do you want to keep this thing? Is this productive for you? Is this profitable for you? Then by all means, yes. Do you want to tweak it? Maybe it's not the $15 a month Netflix, but maybe it's the $10 a month Netflix, right? Maybe you can tweak something to where you save a little money, but you still get the benefit of the overall service or the overall loss. Number 3 is to leap from it completely. Maybe you don't need Netflix anymore. I'm using Netflix just because it popped in my mind. But my point is, you do this with each and every part of your loss statement. You go through the details. By the way, my P&L is a 1-page that gets printed out from my bookkeeper, but it comes with about a 25-page detailed breakdown. Now, it's a PDF, so I'm not wasting any trees. But when I do my P&L, I have on the screen my one sheet, and then I have on the other screen the details, so that if I can look at that and say, oh, my contracted labor last month was $13,000. Who is that? How does that break down? How does that look? Can I tweak that? Can I leap from it? Can I do something different? Folks, right now, you may have the unfortunate problem of taking some losses on the biggest ticket items that have been a benefit to you in your business. Yes, folks, I'm talking about payroll. Sometimes you've got to bite the bullet and talk about payroll, and that's something we're going to hit next week as we continue this series about P&L. Thank you for joining me, folks. Again, if you've not joined us on YouTube, I highly recommend that you do so. Please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I really, really, really do appreciate that if you can do that for us over at YouTube and theappraisercoach.com, or just type in The Appraiser Coach. You will find us, I promise, and you will not regret it. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Let me flip the camera over here just real quick as we do a sign out. Thank you for joining me, folks, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.